going to finish up my last 10 reads from the other day where I had to kind of tap out, what's in your birth chart. So my first person on here will be Miss Lyzz Headley. Let me get your chart pulled up here. And y'all don't look. All right. So this is what do you need to know? What stands out to me? Well, the very first thing that stands out to me is you are a super complicated person. You are a super complicated person. Not only are you a super complicated person, okay, you have some interesting karma to deal with as far as your love life, right here where this is tied in with your Vesta. Then also emotionally, a whole bunch of shadow work. Ooh-wee. You have a lot of fire. You have a lot of fire. Okay. So I'm also looking at some other things here, just kind of tracing and paying attention. Oh, you always feel rushed. You always feel rushed. Not only do you always feel rushed, you always feel like you're running out of time at the same time. Feeling rushed and running out of time are two different things. And I know that people say that all the time. I feel rushed. I feel like I'm running out of time, etc. With all this fire, and especially with your moon and your Mars being in Sagittarius, you always feel the need to push forward. Okay. I do love that your Jupiter is in Libra, meaning that you also require balance. I would bet not a lot of people get you, do they? Oh, look at that balance. Look how pretty that is. Look at how pretty that is. Girl, you don't give yourself enough credit. This right here is fantastic. I mean, I would be a little happier if these two were, if these two are a little more even, but truthfully, you are really, really balanced. And I think that, I know when I said that, you were probably like, what? I am. Because I have this feeling. Yeah. So both your sun and your moon are in fire. Your Mercury is in fire. Your Mars, your passion, your drive is in fire, meaning that you draw people to you. They love the enthusiasm. They love the drive, the go get 'em that you have. They love your push through. But here's the thing, the people that you drive to you, that you pull to you, I would bet are very, very unbalanced. Does that make sense? I would bet that they are very, very unbalanced. And so when they are unbalanced, it's almost like your energy overwhelms them, if that makes sense. Sorry, I'm trying to get everything situated here where I can see everything on the screen. They don't understand how to take your energy because, sweet pea, that right there is beautifully balanced. It's really beautifully balanced. That's about as close as you can get to being balanced without being perfectly balanced. So I love this. I love, love, love this. People don't know how to take your energy because you are balanced, because you come across with this amazing drive and fire and energy, but at the same time, you require things to be even and balanced. Like you feel off kilter when something is unbalanced. So people don't understand how to take your energy. And honey, that's not your fault. Okay. All the times when you have people that have come into your life and then immediately exited, or they kind of back off really quickly after being all gung-ho, it's because they have something in their life that is severely unbalanced. And so they don't know how to take that. So the main thing that I notice aside from that is that tells me that you have a hard time relating to people When you get around other people that are balanced, that understand themselves, that understand where they are in the universe and so on, and they're balanced, you feel at home. But I have a feeling that it's hard to find those people around you. It's hard. Well, it's hard to find those people in general. I'm just going to say that. It's hard to find those people in general. So you're drawn to older people. You're drawn to people that have done a lot of inner work, a lot of shadow work, etc. And honey, this is absolutely one of those times whenever it really isn't you, it's them. It really isn't you, it's them, Lyzz. Okay. Sweet pea, own this balance. Own this balance. This is beautiful. And own the fact that you are a complex person, because there is absolutely nothing wrong with being a complex person. There's nothing wrong with it. One of the things, let me look at something real quick here. So I'm looking for specific repeating numbers. So what I'm looking at is all of these triple digits that are in here and zeros. Because when I see someone that has a very complicated chart, all these lines, and that to me signifies a complicated person, all the lines, because those are all these things that are intersecting in one way or another, right? So when I see that, it tells me that you're on one of your last go arounds in this meat sack, not really this meat sack. You know what I'm saying? One of your last lives, one of your last go arounds. So I would absolutely say that if this isn't your last one, the next one will be. You're finishing up a lot of little teeny tiny things in this life right now that you're in. A lot of things having to do with your love life, a lot of things having to do with your inner child, with your inner work, with your shadow work. And these are things right here, this shadow work aspect of yours. It's like you feel like you're working on things that you never experienced in this life. You're working on these from past lives to get through them. So I would recommend listening to some of the past life meditations on YouTube, the ones that you can sleep to or whatever, to help you work through some of those things. I think that will help you tremendously. You're also working through a whole bunch of things that have to do with your goals and your drive and where you want to go in life. And a lot of family aspects with communication. So there's a lot here. It's little tiny things and a whole bunch of them, like a mountain of them. So I would bet that you have already gotten all the big shit out of the way in your lives. You are that person that, okay, let me do all the hard shit first, and then I'll do the little tiny piddly shit later. And that's why this life is so complicated for you. But like I said, you are the epitome of, it's not me, it's you. They don't know how to handle your energy. Okay. So I understand that on a deep level, honey. Once you own the balance, once you own that it's okay for you to be complicated, you're golden. You're golden, sweet pea. Okay. All right. So let me do Miss Barb. I think I already have hers pulled up. Yes. Sweet. All right, Miss Barb. So what am I doing for you here? All right. What does your soul need to know in this life? Okay. Gotcha. Sorry. I got to move my phone out of the way here. One of these days I will clean off my desk again. I do it about every 2 months. I get pissed with all my clutter, and then I, get rid of all of it. And then I can't find anything because I have gotten rid of all the clutter. All right. What does your soul need to know? You, holy fuck. You are here to work out so many family issues. It's not even funny. Dude, you have like 7 placements in your 4th house. 7. That's a lot. And the fact that your Saturn. So your Saturn not only ties into your sun, it ties into your Venus, your divine feminine, ties into your Mars, your divine masculine, and your drive, your Jupiter, your luck, and your personal power. And it also ties in with your Uranus and your Vesta. Whoo, that's a lot. That's a lot. You are here to work out so much karmically with family issues. It's not even funny. So that right there tells me that you've had a really hard time in this life. Either weird. Either I'm trying to think of the right word. I'm having words issues the last 2 days. Associating with family, talking to them, being part of a family. It's like you always feel like an outsider no matter how close you get. There's something with your soul that has to work those things out this time around. That is your main goal in this life, is to work these things out family wise. Because, whoops, wrong thing. Because this right here, all of that is foundation and family. Not only do you have your sun, your Jupiter, and your communication, you have your moon. I'm waiting to make sure that everything went back on. Okay. Well, let's fix this. Let's see what's going on here. All right. I don't know why it's doing that, but it is what it is. All right. It is what it is, right? I was trying to see the chat. Hopefully. Let's do this. Well, it won't let me, so that's okay. There we go. Now I can see the chat. All right. Yeah. All right. I've got the chat now where I can see. So if it does go out again, would one of you guys just be like, hey, it's out again? And so I'll know to pause. It gives me the little thing, but yeah, I've got to call the internet company again today. They've been supposed to be out like 3 times, and I think they're blowing me off at this point. I'm like, look, this is my livelihood, and I need this to work correctly. So I'm kind of getting pissed off at this point. Hey, Siri, set a reminder for 2 o'clock to call Cox and tell him to fix my fucking shit.
Okay. I've added call Cox and tell him to fix my fucking shit for this afternoon at 2 p.m.
Hey, Siri. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I love having Siri read it back to me because having that humor in there makes me happy. But Miss Barb, this right here is exactly what your soul needs to know. All of the family issues, all of the problems that you've had with family, and this is both close family, extended family, etc. All of the issues you've had with family in this life is due to karmic issues that you're working out right now. So I'm just going to let you know that it's going to continue your whole life. You're going to have to work these things out. The good thing is it's just family issues. It's just family issues. So you're kind of good there. The only other thing that I see is this here. Your Vesta is up here in your 11th house, which is your social aspect. Vesta is kind of your love life. So seeing that that is in retrograde when you were born and in Aries, it means that you really, really, and this sucks, and I hate saying this, it means that you really, really want a relationship. You want to be happy. You want to be loved and so on, but you're not really meant to be in that soulmate type relationship in this life. Now, let me say something here, because whenever I was about 16, I had a palm reader tell me that my soulmate wasn't here in this life. And I'm not going to lie, it devastated me, because then I was like, well, what's the fucking point of even trying then? And so I was like, all right, you know what? Fine, we'll just do the 3 F's, fine, I'm fucking forget them. We'll just do that, okay? And so then I met my first husband, and it was like this, and instant, together. Like the first time he met my mom, he's like, I'm going to marry your daughter. My mom was like, okay, crazy. And then sure as shit, he did things like that. Like both of the people I've married, I knew right off the bat. But I didn't feel like, oh my God, this is my soulmate. I didn't feel like that. I just knew. And I know now it's because my kids had to be here. My kids had to be here in this life. But I came to terms in my early 20s with not having a soulmate here. And I know a lot of people that's devastating to hear, or it's devastating to see in your chart that you're not really meant to have that soulmate connection. But here's the thing. It's so fucking freeing. It's not even funny, because it means you don't have to search the whole fucking planet for this one person. It means that you don't have to stress about having to make a relationship work with somebody, because even if it's a soulmate, there's still going to be issues. Every relationship has issues. So not having that aspect there hanging over your fucking head is actually fantastic. It's actually fantastic. So even though when I said that to you, you probably already knew this and you probably were already like, well, that fucking sucks. It's like it takes that one thing off your plate completely and you don't have to worry about it anymore. So I hope that helps, Miss Barb. I know it's probably not, it's probably not what you wanted to know, but why are you doing that? Why are you doing this? Oh, sometimes me and technology don't get along. And then I can't spell. All right. What do you need to know, Miss Daisy Pooh? All right. Wow. Look at all those triangles. Holy crap. This huge one stands out. This huge one stands out. This huge one stands out. This huge one. Holy shit, girl. So when I see triangles, and this is before I even go and look at all of your elements and everything else, when I see triangles like that, it tells me that you strive for balance and equality in your life. And so, and now I see both your Neptune and your Uranus are in Capricorn. Neptune is your planet of goals and so on. And with your sun being in Sagittarius, I see that as well. So here's what's funny. Sagittarius and Capricorn are tremendously similar, even though Sagittarius is fire and Capricorn is earth. They're similar in they require balance. They require balance. Okay. Libras do as well. Libra is known as that sign that needs the balance, that brings balance in. Okay. But Sagittarius and Capricorn kind of end and begin the year. I know it's not the first and the second sign, but I've never understood that, but I digress. Sagittarius and Capricorn both require balance. When they are off balance, when something is off balance in their life, they tend to be, it's almost like they get severe ADHD all of a sudden. They have to have balance. So the fact that your sun sign is Sagittarius, and then you have your Neptune and your Uranus in Capricorn, both in the 4th and 5th house, and that's your foundation, you have to have that balance. So yeah, seeing all of these triangles tell me that this life right here, you're all about trying to find balance. And the fact that your Mars is up there in your 12th house, that's your spirituality. That's your your path in this life. Okay. Oh, there's why you are seeking balance. Gotcha. So I actually like this here. Let's talk about this real quick. The reason you're searching for that balance is because you have a lot of things in this life that you're taking care of. See how this is 60% right here? Your sun sign, your moon sign, your karma, your personal power, and your communication are all mutable signs. So mutable signs are able to change really quickly, and this is the end of a season. So for those of you guys that don't know, cardinal, fixed, mutable, etc. Cardinal is the first zodiac sign in each season. So there's one for each element. Okay. So Capricorn is a cardinal sign. The second one is fixed signs. These are like the second one in a season. So this would be Aquarius. These are the signs that are very productive, very determined, like they knuckle down and do things. They may have a problem starting, but they knuckle down and do things. Then you have the mutable signs, which bring the end of a season. Okay. So that would be like Pisces. That is the sign that is very capable of change and flexibility. And they also are happy to end things. Like they like to see things finished. They have a really big problem starting sometimes, but they love to see things done and complete. Check that box off. Okay. That's the main thing about those. So when I see that you have all of those things in your mutable, it tells me that you have a lot of things karmically that you came here to end this time around. So what throws you off balance and why you can't find your balance is that little tiny thing right here. This right here. Your air is like super tiny. You have all of this water, which is intuition. It's your emotions. It's how you, it's awesome. Okay. Your intuition is spot on point all the time. Your fire is nice and large, meaning that you have the drive to push forward and to do things. And your earth is perfectly sized, so you're perfectly grounded. But that air is little bitty, meaning that it's hard for you to process your intuition. It's hard for you to process your grounding. It's hard for you to process your fire, that drive. So I would surround yourself with things, stones, herbs, people, etc., that help you focus. Fluorite's going to be your top stone. Fluorite's going to be your top stone because it helps you focus. It helps with your mental capacity, everything. That's going to be your stone. Okay. So that's what I see when I look at this and like what you need to know. You're searching for that balance all the time and you'll find it. Okay. Don't stress. You'll find it. So I know you guys are asking about the zodiacs from last night. So I went on and tried to download it. And because it jacked up so many times last night, I can't download it. I'm going to see if I can screen record it on my phone, if it'll let me replay it and I can screen record it. But as of right now, it's not looking that good. And I'm a little irritated about it. So I'm going to apologize preemptively. I will make sure everything is good next week. I promise. I know some of you guys like that. All right. Hey, Miss Amy. I did see the owl. Thank you so much, sugar. All right, Sarah. So let's look here. You are one complicated fucking soul. Holy shit. Let me see what I'm looking at here. What do you need to know? What stands out? Well, what you need to know what stands out? Look at that. Look at that. That is so many cross lines. You have a perfect star, literally out of blue in the middle there. Like you are, wow. That's actually really, really beautiful. But all of these intersecting lines tells me that you have such a complicated brain that sometimes you can't even stand yourself. Your brain goes 90 to nothing. Your soul goes 90 to nothing. Whoo. It's almost like you're tearing yourself apart internally at times because you just have so much going on all the time right now. Where's your Mars? Oh, your Mars is in Scorpio. Oh, God. Okay, yeah, you really do. You really do drive yourself nuts, which is funny because you're a Libra. Also, the other thing that stands out to me is that you were born during a Mercury retrograde. So Mercury retrograde is actually really, really kind to you. This is when you feel the most like yourself, when you feel like your communication is on point. You feel like you can move forward how you need to move forward. So the other thing that I noticed right here is your Jupiter was in retrograde when you were born in Aries. and see all of the different things that it's attached to, like that's insane. So Jupiter is the planet of your personal power, of your luck, so on. It is highly tied into your emotions and your moon and your shadow side. It's also highly tied into your Venus, but in a different way. So you feel like as a woman, you don't have a lot of personal power. You don't feel like your divine feminine is as powerful as it should be because it was in retrograde and because it's in opposition to your Venus. The fact that it's sextile to Saturn, even though it's in retrograde, this means that it's pulling apart from your karma. So this is something that you have to overcome in this life, is to own your personal power and how you move forward in life. Owning your personal power is something that's really hard, especially for women. It's getting a lot easier, but it's hard for women because we are kind of taught, no matter where you grew up, no matter where you were born, you grew up with seeing, and how old are you? Oh yeah. You grew up with Barbie and June Cleaver and seeing that the woman is the one that serves the man and so on. So you grew up with this image that you had to look a certain way, talk a certain way, act a certain way, be a certain way, and be subservient to everybody else. It's getting better. And so some of the younger generation, the younger millennials and Gen Z aren't going to grow up as bad like that. But those of us that are older, that are baby boomers, that are Gen X, et cetera, and older millennials to an extent have this. And so a lot of us have to overcome this personal power aspect in our life because we never got it as a kid. Even if you had a good parent, even if you had good parents that told you could be anything, even if you have a powerful job, even if you've worked your way up, whatever. I feel like for me personally, it's something that I still continue to work on, even though I consider myself pretty successful at this point in my life. And I have busted my ass to get there. I still struggle with that. So this is something you're going to struggle with. I do love that this is at the top of that star in your chart. That is where the spirit sits in the star. For those of you guys that aren't familiar with the pentagram and the pentacle, the star represents all 5 elements: earth, air, fire, and water, as well as the spirit. And the spirit is usually the top of the star. So it's something you're going to struggle with the rest of your life, is your personal power. Oh, there it is right there. Told you. Because your fire is little bitty bitty. Now, look at this. This is utterly fucking fantastic. This is perfect balance. Your cardinal, mutable, and fixed signs are all absolute perfect balance. That right there is fantastic. You need to use that to your advantage completely. But the fact that your fire is little bitty, it means that you lose a lot of your drive and your creativity and your passion moving forward. So knowing that that's a thing will help you, and knowing that you're fighting against your own personal power will help you as well when you're moving forward. So let me see who's next here. Elizabeth Longley. Just give me the little plus. There we go. Niagara Falls is on my list this year. I need to see me some Niagara Falls. Well, look at that. What am I telling you? I love that. I'm always like, oh, wait, I need to go back and see what is it I'm actually telling you. Okay. All right. So the first thing I noticed, the main thing that stands out, is this beautiful fucking crown here in the middle. I mean, look at that. Beautiful ass crown here in the middle. The second thing I notice is this, what we just talked about. Your personal power, your Jupiter was in retrograde when you were born. Oh my God, it was in Aries as well. Okay. So your personal power, you have been struggling to find your own personal power the vast majority of your life. And it's tied in with your karma. See right there? It's tied in with your Saturn, with your karma. Both of those are in fire, so that's interesting. I do like that they're in trine instead of. Okay. So your personal power, you finding your own personal power, is key to your karma in this life. Like that is one of the main things here. It's one of the main things here. Oh, you also have a big problem with your own divine feminine. Your divine feminine and your divine masculine war with each other. So I would bet you have times where you feel super in touch with your divine feminine side, and then other times when you feel like it is so far away that you don't know if you're ever going to find it again, and you feel this massive divine masculine push. And this is something you have to work out shadow wise with yourself. I understand that on a very deep level too, sweet pea. Okay. Honey, you've got to give yourself more credit. Seeing this beautiful crown here and seeing this personal power that's in retrograde and all of these things here. So you have the majority of your signs, your placements, I mean, right here in your 4th house, which is your foundation. Like this is one of the most important houses, is your foundation. And this is fantastic. By owning your personal power, and like I talked about, Sagittarius and Capricorn, and that's the majority of your 4th house. You need that balance. Finding that balance, finding your personal power, and owning that divine feminine are going to help you tremendously. There we go. There's the problem right there. So I actually appreciate that your qualities there. You have that 46% in your mutable signs, meaning that you are here to finish some things up. The one thing that what I said, oh, there it is right there. See this little bitty tiny thing? You have tons of drive, tons of. You are compounded exactly how you need to be. Let me wait for. Oh, Lord. Why does it keep doing this? I don't know. All right. I can't wait for 2 o'clock. And we're going to call Cox and we're going to bitch and piss and moan because this is getting ridiculous now at this point. All right. So work on the things that will allow you to focus and process those downloads. Frequencies are going to be a big thing for you. I would bet that the solfeggio frequencies will help you tremendously. All right. Tammy, I don't think I have yours. I don't. All right. What am I telling you? What do you need to know? It stands out. Wow. I almost lost my voice there for a minute with that drawn out. Wow. Dude. Dude. Look at all the shit tied into your karma. Look at that. All right, here we go. Your divine masculine, your divine feminine, your communication, and your love life are all tied into your karma. Meaning, Meaning, look at that. And seeing that these two are going forward and backwards, so they're literally pulling away from each other like that. You have to figure out the balance between your Venus and your Mars, your divine feminine, your love and your passion and your drive and your divine masculine. And then also your Vesta down there is separating from your karma too, meaning that your love life has been interesting. And your Mercury being square with Saturn means that what I like about it, it means that you really, really need communication. You are that person that needs all the communication. But seeing that it's separating from Saturn means that you need the communication, but for some reason you can't give it back in return most of the time. And you don't understand why. Now, it wasn't retrograde when you were born. So retrograde does affect you. But if you know it affects you, then that can help you out. And the fact that you're an Aquarius too, you tend to brood a little bit more than normal. Gotcha. And your Mercury's in Aquarius. Okay. So knowing that that's a thing will help you tremendously. Where's your moon? It's in Sagittarius. Okay. You have so many things that your karma affects. It's not even funny, honey. You're here to do a lot of shit. Okay. You're here to do a lot of shit right there. And that's where your Saturn lies. Okay. Now, the thing that interests me is this right here. You don't really have anything at all in your water. You have a ton of drive. You have a ton of grounding. Like those two things are where you feel the best in driving forward and doing the things, getting it done, and in being grounded in yourself. I also like that your air is pretty large. That is how you process information intellectually. So that's fantastic as well. However, it's almost like your intuition is shut off most of the time. So I would not be surprised to know that you dream, you have all these interesting things, but you don't know how to process what you saw, process the downloads, etc., and utilize them. It's almost like they're just right there out of your reach, like on the tip of your tongue, and you can't quite say it. So things that help you be more ethereal, things that help you connect with the water aspect are going to be key for you moving forward. Stones that are associated with water, herbs that are associated with water, being in and around water. All of that's going to help you tremendously. So I'm trying to think of some of the stones off the top of my head, but I will say this. Selenite is going to be a fantastic stone for you. Do not put it in water. It will dissolve, but it'll damage it tremendously. It will help clear out a lot of that jumble that all of that fire can create. When you get all of that fire and all of the earth together like that, they create this muddy, hard, muddy jumble that you almost can't clear out of your brain. So selenite's absolutely going to be your friend. It's absolutely going to be your friend. And just know that you have so much karmically to deal with. Like I said at the very first when I pulled this up. Yeah. I would, if you don't already do it, I would start listening to some of the solfeggio frequencies at night while you sleep or during the day while you're at work, whatever it is, because those will help even out a lot of this, and they will help you focus on the things you need to focus on karmically. Okay. Hope that helps a little bit. That's a lot. It was a lot. Sorry. It was a lot. All right. Stephanie Freeman. Whoa. What did I do there? Okay. All right. What do you need to know, Miss Stephanie? Woo! Was the first thing I caught right there. The very first thing that caught my eye is this right here. Your Jupiter, your personal power, your luck is in your 12th house, and it's in Virgo. Very grounded and tied in with so much shit. That's important. So your 12th house is your spiritual path. It's where you're going spiritually. That's why this is a tremendous thing to you right now. It's a tremendous thing in your life to know where you're going. It would not surprise me to know that you have gone through and looked at several different religions, several different paths, several different karmic roads, all of the things, because it's like you struggle to find where you belong. So seeing that your Saturn was in retrograde when you were born and in Aries over there, it tells me that this is something you're going to struggle with. It's something you have to overcome. There's no severe karma that you have to overcome, but it's almost like it's working against you to try to do it. So this must be very, very important for you in this life. I'm fixing to look at something else here in just a second because I have my suspicions. That this is probably one of the main things you have to accomplish. I mean, seeing all these lines, you know what I mean? All of the complicated line, not the most complicated I've ever seen, but seeing all the lines and where all of these right here are more who you are as a person versus foundational work, versus career and so on. This right here, finding your path, is one of the most important things. So we're going to kind of skip over because I want to see something right here. So what I would say that this is, and I'm gonna look at one more thing here in a minute before I move on. But what I would say that this is, you know how when you're in college and you have to write a paper to pass, to move on or whatever, to graduate, you have to write a thesis, etc. That's exactly what you're doing in this life. This is your thesis. You have to find this out. So I'm going to tell you this. It is absolutely okay, and I recommend that you continue to look at different paths, different practices, different religions, different ways of being, different beliefs. I would recommend that you dive down the rabbit hole. And I would also recommend, I'm going to recommend a couple of books that I think would be great for you. And they are on Audible. So, if you want to listen to them instead of reading them. One is it just fell out of my brain. It just fell out of my fucking brain. The Tao Te Ching. Sorry, I had to think for a minute. I know it's an Eastern philosophy book, but it's fantastic. And even if you didn't grow up that way, even if you've never heard of anything like that, it's fantastic. Okay. There is a version called the Dude De Ching that is from The Big Lebowski, and it is pretty humorous. So if you need a good giggle, that one is great, and it is based off of the other one. So it's awesome. Then I would also recommend. I'm gonna die if I don't turn my heater down. Whoa, turned you off, man. Then I would also recommend. One that I've been recommending a lot lately because I think it will help a lot of people is one called Becoming Nobody from Ram Dass. And then I would also recommend any of the books that help give you the philosophy of Buddhism. So one of the things I love about Buddhism, and I have taken my precepts and so on, is that the whole base behind it is don't be a dick. Don't be a dick. But a lot of the philosophies in it are fantastic, and they do apply to everyday life. So even if you don't want to become a Buddhist, I would highly recommend, as part of looking down the paths, that you look into some of that. Okay. There's also a good book called Eastern Philosophy, Western Mind. That one's a really, really good one as well. And I had that one recommended to me about 4 or 5 years ago. And I devoured that book. It's fantastic. Okay. So I hope that helps a little bit, Stephanie. I know that was a lot that I just threw at you. So yeah, that was a lot. All right. Miss Misty Farmer. So for those of you guys that are just joining, this is me finishing up my list from Friday, where I had to tap out, where I needed an adult to proofread my shit. Thankfully, Sass has started being an adult for me and proofreading my stuff. All right, Miss Misty, what do you need to know? You're so welcome. Was that you that I just read for? You're so welcome, honey. One of the things that I really need to get up, and I've started it, but I just haven't published it on my website, is a list of books that I have found that have helped me, that I recommend all the time. And so I need to get that up for you guys, because people ask me all the time about book recommendations. And there are so many fantastic ones that would help you guys. And I love that the majority of them are on Audible now. And that's also why I know this Saturday I read some ghost stories and stuff like that. But one of the things I want to start doing during the week is reading to you guys a little bit, because sometimes I don't have the time to sit down and read, and my ass needs to be reading too. Other times I kind of don't like some of the voices they use on Audible. I just don't. I just don't. You know what I mean? Like, I just don't. I like it when the author is reading their own books. Like if you get Becoming Nobody by Ram Dass on Audible, he reads it. And that to me is fantastic. So, yeah. But I need to get you guys a list of books. So yeah. All right, Miss Misty. Ready? So, holy fucking shit. Look at all those triangles. This is almost like the beginning of a you've been circling it, then I would absolutely read it or listen to it. I really would. I read it 2014. I read it in 2014. And there are times I go back through it. So yeah, there are times I go back through it. So it's really good. And like I said, I mean, you won't identify with all of it, but there will be some. Okay. All right, Miss Misty. I have the very beginnings of a, like, look at all this. And again, all the triangles. Okay. Okay. So I was about to say you require balance, because look at all little triangles, all the trines in here. And then look here. All the placements you have in Libra are in retrograde. All in your 11th and 12th house, meaning your house of your career goals and so on, and your house of your spiritual path. Girl. And you were born during a Mercury retrograde, which affects, of course, those two things and your karma and your personal power and you as a person. All right, then. Mercury is a huge thing for you. Mercury retrograde is a huge thing for you. So here's the thing. Since you were born under a Mercury retrograde, it's going to be a good time for you. It's not going to be a time when your communication is shit. It's not going to be a time when you can't communicate. It's not, I just said that. I had a brain fart. It's not going to be a time when you're freaking out like everybody else is. But the thing here, the fact that retrograde is tied into these two, this one is your love life. This one is karma. Oh my God, girl. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Oh, Miss Misty. So this here, let's talk about this. This is Pluto. This is the planet of how you feel you look on the outside. The fact that it's in retrograde tells me that you always struggle with how you look. You always struggle with how you feel you look to other people. You always struggle with feeling like you look good enough, you are good enough, etc. Being that it's in Libra tells me that it affects you on a very, very deep level. And of course, it's tied in with your moon, which is in Taurus, meaning that you absolutely beat the shit out of yourself about it. It's also tied in with your divine feminine, which is in Capricorn. Having a Venus divine feminine in Capricorn means you're already super hard on yourself. So you are probably one of the meanest people to yourself about how you look. You're right up there at the tippity top of being mean to yourself with how you look. It is something that you have to overcome because it's tied in with your Neptune, with your goals. It's tied in with your divine feminine and your divine masculine. All of the, and oh God, and this right here. Oh, sweet pea. I just want to hug the living shit out of your little soul. Okay. Okay. All right. Oh, there it is. Look at all that air. Okay, so let's start here. I actually really like this. It's not perfect balance, but it's pretty close. And I usually like seeing this being 40% because it's great to start things and it's great to finish things. But if you don't have that mutable or that fixed, in the middle, you're not getting shit done. You can start it all day long, but you're not getting shit done. And that's where your moon is. So, okay. All right. So what I love here is that your air is half your chart, almost half your chart. The other three are in pretty decent balance. I do hate that your fire is a little tiny. I kind of wish that your air was a little smaller and your fire was a little bigger, but it is what it is. What is in your air? What is in your fire? Okay. Your Neptune. Gotcha. Your goals. So that's good. That's good. But the fact that you have your karma and your personal power in the air over here means that you really, really are processing your path on a very intellectual level. And I would say sometimes almost too intellectual. Okay. I would say almost too intellectual. So don't overthink your path. Don't overthink where you're going in life. Don't overthink. I hate that your Pluto is there. I hate that your Pluto is there. Things that help you connect to your intuition, that help you connect to water, that help you connect to your third eye with going with the flow are going to be what helps you the most right now, what helps you the most in life. So I would recommend spending time near water. I would recommend sleeping to waves or rain. I would recommend spending time in the shower or the bath or the pool or the hot tub or whatever. I would totally recommend any and all of that. Okay. It will help you tremendously. I wish I could give you some magic thing to fix the Pluto retrograde. But I can't. But knowing that it's a thing can help you. Can help you tremendously. So when you start beating the shit out of yourself, like, man, I don't look good enough. My hair's not good. My weight's not good. My face, this isn't, picking yourself apart. Literally tell yourself, do something physical. Like whenever I get too far down a rabbit hole, like I'll do this, like chop, stop. Like stop. Or I'll do that. Like, no, done. Something physical. Make yourself stop, because when you do something physical, it forces your brain to go, oh, wait, okay, shift and pivot. It'll help you because, honey, I have a feeling that you're absolutely fantastic just the way you are. All right. So I have Caroline Etheridge and then Dana Chavez to go on this. And then I'm going to get off of here. I got to go let some dogs OUT. I'm not going to say the word. And then I'll be back on here in a little bit. I've got to finish up some other reads. Trying to get a whole bunch of shit knocked off my day today. My next 3 days, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, are technically my days off. but I have a big list from 2022 that I'm trying to finish. So my days off are going to be completely working this week. And my energy is through the roof, so y'all are going to be seeing a lot of me. You're welcome. I could get your birthday right. Like, that would be cool. All right. What do you need to know? All right, Miss Caroline. Girl, almost half your fucking charts in retrograde. You were born. Holy fucking shit. Okay. All right. You fight with yourself so damn much it's not even funny. Because seeing that your sun sign is an Aries, it's in your 4th house, your foundation, and that it's, oh my God, that it's tied into all these retrogrades. Look at that. So I do love this. I do love this. Your Jupiter is in Capricorn, and that is your personal power, like moving forward. I love that it's square with your Aries. Fuck yeah. Both of those are cardinal signs, meaning that you just own shit when you own it. But that's tied into all of this up here. You have your karma and your divine masculine, which are in Scorpio, which are in your 11th house, meaning that you're struggling with finding your passion in life, because the 11th house is like your social and your career goals, like your social goals and so on, what you get involved with. So you're having a problem finding what matters to you in this life. You're having a problem, and this is where your karma lies, what you're here to overcome. You're having a problem making yourself people. Like, I have that problem sometimes too. Like, I can't people anymore today. I can people until I can't people anymore. You're having a problem identifying with people and causes and things. The fact that your Uranus is in your 12th house and it's in retrograde, that right there tells me that every time you think you find a path that you're supposed to be on, something happens and you go, oh, that's not the path. And you find another path and you're like, oh, that's not the path. You find another path. Oh, like, it's just, you can't settle into one path, and that's okay. That's perfectly okay. I know your Aries self says it's not okay and you rush forward into the next one headlong, but it is okay. I promise. It is okay. All right. You have a lot of stuff tied in with your Vesta. You never feel good enough in a relationship, do you? Seeing that this is tied in right there, you never feel good enough in a relationship. Okay. Having your Pluto in retrograde, like I explained already, is, and it's in Scorpio, meaning you are super hard on yourself about it. You don't ever feel good enough for anything or anybody in a relationship. Now, being an Aries, you're really confident in yourself, but where's your moon? Where's your moon? Where's your moon? Where's your moon? Oh, God damn, your moon's in Taurus. And there we go. Okay. You overthink every little thing about yourself. Girl. That's almost as close to balance as you can get. Your signs are in perfect balance, and your, like, the only thing that's off a little bit is your air. Honey, I think me telling you this right here is going to be the most important part of this reading. We talked about all that other stuff, but I'll bet this right here, you had no idea. You're almost completely perfectly balanced in this life. All your signs are literally perfectly balanced. Your elements are almost perfectly balanced as well. Like, this right here is as close to perfectly balanced as you can get. So I know I said this to somebody else earlier. It's literally not you, it's them. You are doing and walking the path that you need to be walking. Even all of those shifts and movements and back and forth and, okay, I can't be this way now, I have to be this way. All of those changes and shifts, are supposed to happen. They have to happen because you need that balance. You need to experience so many different things in this life and on this path. And that's why you keep shifting and changing. It's okay. It's what you're supposed to do. The people that are supposed to be in your path will understand that. The people that are supposed to be in your path will happily support you on every single shift you make. And the ones that don't, they don't need to be in your path, or they only need to be in your path for that amount of time. Just let them go on about their path, okay? You also bring balance to other people. And this is why you draw a lot of broken people to you, because having all three of those in balance and having your elements almost in perfect balance, you draw broken people to you. They see that balance in you, even if you have never, ever seen it in your life. They see that balance in you and they envy that. They want to be that. I would also bet you've had a lot of people that have tried to mimic you, that try to be exactly like you, etc. And you don't understand why. This is why right here. This is why right here. Because you're balanced. Give yourself some credit, sweet pea. You are almost perfectly balanced. I mean, I love this too. All of these triangles and you still have boxes. I love this. So even though you have all these retrogrades and you have these things that you need to overcome in this life, honey, you're balanced to do it. You're balanced to take care of every bit of the things that you have to overcome in this life. So trust in yourself. The fact that your Jupiter is in Capricorn right there. Capricorn is a no nonsense. It's a no nonsense sign. It is completely moving forward all the time. Push, 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 push. So seeing that right there tells me that everything karmically that you're supposed to do in this life, you will do it. Your soul is stubborn as fuck. Having an Aries placement and that in Capricorn, you are stubborn as fuck. And you will do every single thing in this life that you're supposed to. So trust your gut, do the things, and give yourself more credit, sweet pea, okay? Hope that helped, Miss Caroline. All right, Miss Dana, you are next. I think I have pulled your chart before. I have. All right, Miss Dana, what do you need to know? Gotcha. You're a complicated person. Okay. You're a super complicated person. You also have a lot of things that were in retrograde when you were born. And they affect a lot of the things that you do. Okay. You struggle to find balance with your drive and your passion. You also are struggling to figure out what you want to do as a big girl when you grow up. This is your Neptune, which is your goals, your drive. And then you have your Vesta, which is your love life. Both of those are being affected by your karma. So all of the things, let me just say this, all of the things that have happened in your love life, being that your Vesta is attached to your karma and it's attached to your divine feminine, which is in Cancer. Okay. All of the things that have happened in your love life, all of the losses were supposed to happen. They were supposed to happen. There was nothing you could have done, said, etc., that would have changed the outcome. So where you're still beating yourself up over these things, where's your moon? Okay. It's not so much that you're beating yourself up over these things. You go back, seeing that your moon's in Libra, you go back and overthink all of this. Well, if I had just said this, or rationalize why that relationship was the way it was. Honey, it was the way it was because it had to be that way. Karmically, it had to be that way. And being a Taurus, you're already overthinking and stubborn anyway. Oh. Here's a lot of the problem right here. See how you have 46% over here with your cardinal signs. Moving forward. Your Saturn is there, your Jupiter is there, your feminine, your masculine, and your moon. Everything is here in cardinal signs. Moving forward. The only thing that is in your fire, and your fire is like a sliver, is your karma. So like I said, everything that is supposed to happen to you in this life will happen. Everything that you are supposed to accomplish will be accomplished. The rest of these things are pretty. I love that you have the 33% in Earth. That means that you're able to really ground yourself and be who you need to be when you need to be that person. The 40% in water, though. The 40% in water, though. Water and Earth clash. It turns to mud. So you fight with yourself all the time. Your intuition is telling you this. Your emotions are telling you this. Your gifts are telling you this. And then on the other side, you have that earth part that's like, no, 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 no. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing this, whatever. The fact that you are an earth sign means that you overthink and you overplan everything. And so that wars with your intuition as well. The fact that you only have 20% in air tells me that you have a problem processing all of the downloads coming in from that 40% water. So you kind of fight with yourself on moving forward or standing still. Honey, I'm going to say every time your intuition, and here's what I want you to do. I think this will help you tremendously, okay? Because you need to trust your intuition a lot more. Every time that your intuition tells you to do something, do it. Spend one day a week right now, just one day, one of your days off or whatever. Whatever your intuition, your gut tells you you should be doing or not doing, I want you to follow it. And this is a good exercise for all of you. Another good exercise is to have someone that you trust to tell you the truth, okay? Do an exercise with them. Sit down and intuitively tell them things. But here's the catch. They're only allowed to say yes to things. If you say something that's not accurate, they are not allowed to say no. They just don't answer. What this does is it helps to boost your intuition and boost your trust in yourself. Because we are conditioned as humans that when we hear no, it means you're wrong. So when we hear no, we're trained to go, oh, I was wrong. Let me stop and regroup and come back. But when we hear yes, it boosts our confidence, it boosts our intuition, it boosts us as a person. So if you have someone that you trust that will do this exercise with you, and they're only allowed to say yes, it will boost your trust in yourself, and it will help you utilize that 40% of air in your chart, and you will be a gifted powerhouse. Okay? Does that help, Miss Dana? So that finishes up my reads for this last Friday that I had to tap out on. And yeah, we will get this on YouTube, and I will get the list of people here on the bottom. So that way you guys can go through and kind of see where you are on the lineup. And yes, I'll be back. I'll be back later and tomorrow and Wednesday, finishing up all these other reads. So I will see you guys. I will see you guys later. If you guys want to get on my list for this next week, it is on my website, on my link tree there already. This week is all about starseeds. So if you guys wanted to know where your soul is from, know a little bit more about your path, why you're here, what you're doing here, I got you. So I will see you guys